Today's podcast is going to be a little bit different. It's really not going to be anything about marketing. It's going to be about living in your true alignment. I recently heard a speaker this past week talk about when we are authentic, we are living in alignment. When we are living in alignment, we are then attracting. That's exactly what I want to share with you is the story of the past year. Let's get real.
Welcome to Brick and Mortar Visibility, your go-to podcast for local business owners who want to stand out, scale up, and create the freedom they deserve. I'm Melissa Rose, a fellow business owner who knows firsthand that running a brick and mortar business isn't just about the sales. It's about building a legacy. Here, my guests and I are going to dive into real, unfiltered conversations about what it actually takes to run and grow a thriving business. From building and leading a powerhouse team to creating a turnkey operation, we're going to help you avoid that cash flow crunch and tap into next level marketing strategies that bring the perfect clients in your doors. Ready to be the only option in town? Let's do this.
Hey there, welcome to the Brick and Mortar Visibility Show. My name is Melissa Rose, and I am your guide to help you as a service-based brick and mortar business owner be the only option in town in your industry. I do that by coming in weekly to share with you tips, tools, and strategies that I've learned in my business of 17 years to help you in yours. I also consult for people as well as do a group coaching program called Level Up Your Business, Your Life, where we talk about your goals, your aspirations, and then I hold you accountable to them. Because guess what? You probably know what you need to do, but what we lack is the consistency and the accountability, and I love being there for those people that need that, want that, desire it, because guess what? I need it as well. So that's the business aspect of it. Today we're going to dive into maybe a long podcast, maybe a little bit scenic route-ish. I always laugh. I tend to get there. I tend to land the plane eventually, but we might go off on some tangents because this one is really real. If you've been watching my socials or following me, you've known that I've been working on a project behind the scenes, and I signed the papers last week officially, so now I can officially share it. And because you're listening to the podcast, you get even more of the nitty-gritty. When I share it with my community, it's typed out, it's a little bit curated. Some of the details are left out because it's just tedious, where you guys are going to get the tedious details. And plus, the bonus of a podcast is you can speed me up, which I listen to everybody in a 2x at least. And so there you go. So it might be a little bit longer, but my goal for you at the end of this podcast, genuinely, is to just take a reflection of yourself and ask yourself, am I doing what I truly want? Or am I doing what my spouse wants, my partner wants, my kids want? Believe me, I'm guilty of this. This is why I say it. Am I doing something because my parents expect this out of me, or my friend group, or my business partner, or my mentor? I just want you to be really, really clear, because I had some wake-up calls during the past year. Okay, so we're going to get real. Before we do that, real quick, grab your social post, blog, event that you have coming up and bring it over to your Google business profile. If you don't know what I mean by that, please go to brickandmortarvisibility.com, click the Work With Me tab, and you'll see my free workshop there and ways I can best support you in your business. Okay, we're going to bring it all the way back to 2009. That is when I started the Dancing House. I was an educator in the community for 13 years, and I just had baby number 3. And I thought, you know what? My dance teacher started out of her home. Why can't I? Let's see if I can do this. So I literally started my studio out of my house. And it was a private student. She came in for a private lesson, and she walked in the door, and she goes, "Is this the Dancing House?" And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think you just named my business. So that's what it was, the Dancing House. And 800 square feet, started with literally my neighborhood. And my neighborhood was so supportive. And just grew it from there. And 9 years later, we were over 100 students coming in, and I had gone through a life change. I became a single mom of 5 kids, and just realized that if I'm going to do this, I need to do this. So I looked at commercial property, and because that's what you do, you look at commercial property. And you guys, I recently pulled up a video that had gotten a lot of traction, and it was me talking about getting this commercial space and the hard. I was really struggling with doing it. Okay, and now in hindsight, I'm like, it's because of this. I knew that if I got a commercial space, that's just it's more overhead, literally a lot more overhead. Those of you that have your commercial space know you have the rent, you have the utilities, you have the insurance, you have the team members now that you have to pay. And when I was small out of my house, it was me. And I did have a couple teachers working for me, but I had a really good thing going and I knew it. So it was very scary for me to get this commercial space. However, I was like, well, now you have 2 spaces versus just 1. You can scale a little bit more. But the commercial space that I got was a mile from my house, so the location was prime, but it's 3,000 square feet. And in order to split it up into maybe 2 or 3 studios with it here, that was a price tag I just could not do. It just was not available to me. So we built it out. I took some equity out of my house and built out a studio and a lobby area. Thankfully, within a year, I was able to get a subletter who was a college dear friend, and she has the boutique side of the business. So she sells the dance clothes and the dance wear and all that. So that was helpful. Okay. So that was after COVID. COVID was its own can of worms. I'm not even going to go there because COVID, people, were thinking of me. My brother was super helpful. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was nasty. It was not fun. But COVID, we had the PPP money. We had the economic relief money. We had money coming in. And that literally kind of was a veil over the problem for me. I didn't realize how bad things were because I had this money that was there. So I count to 8. I joke, I'm a dance teacher. I count to 8, out to play, into lunch. That's one of my baby steps I teach. And I do napkin math. I'm not very smart with spreadsheets. I remember my dad saying years ago, I don't know how you run a business without Excel. And I was like, I do it. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I had my numbers, but I did not have this dashboard spreadsheet that I do now to really give me a clear forecast of where things were at and how things were. So that PPP money, all the money that was given to business owners was very, very helpful, but I was not using it properly. So I'm being really real there. So then it was 2022, 2023 that things just got really real. I had a bump in 2020 and 2021 because I ran my business a little different, but then things settled out in 22, 23, and then it just got really real that my numbers, what I built this commercial space on, was not the numbers that I was getting in my studio business. And I was in a financial stress that was real. I put everything I had into this commercial space. I maxed out credit cards. I had this line of credit. That, like I said, that COVID money was long gone. And so now it was really real. And once you experience credit card debt, and you have one late payment, it's really hard to get back on track. And so I had consolidated some debt and ended up, if you've ever gone through some financial stuff, doing whatever I could to make payroll. I always paid my bills. I always made payroll. It was just the credit card debt was just eating anything alive. So I literally was doing Instacart on the weekends. I was donating plasma. I was helping friends paint or do their garden work. What else did I do? I took a noon job doing recess duty because I didn't have any clients yet with my coaching business, and I was just doing anything I could to bring a little bit of breath into my business. I then got 3 coaching clients 2 years ago, like all in the same week. It was amazing. And that was huge. Huge. It was 3 consulting clients. And then coincidentally, the teaching job, the recess duty monitor thing, was done, and I could breathe a little bit. I also have people just randomly, give me gifts of whatever I needed, randomly. It was just a lot of different miracles happening there. So I would get to the school year when our season was, and I would be feeling good, but then summer was always such a struggle for us, and we would do the best we could, but by that late July before the season started in September, it was just hold your breath, and summer just was not fun. Can anyone relate? So fast forward a little bit, it's fall of 2023, and I am at a point where I'm genuinely considering closing my doors. I was applying for jobs and just feeling just really burnt out with my business. Like I said, paying the bills, but just not getting ahead. And here I am. I'm like, this is too long to be just kind of spinning, right? Spinning. So I had invested in coaches. I've worked with coaches before and said, you know what? There's this one coach I feel I should work with, but I just never did. And I decided to invest with them. And it was game-changing. And I received resources that I never received from other coaches. And I was like, so don't get me wrong, I was ticked because I invested thousands of dollars and never got the resources from these very big name coaches. You would recognize their names. And I was just pissed. I was like, why was I never given this resource? So this resource was my dashboard that is a built-out spreadsheet that, like my dad said years and years ago, I don't know how you run a business without it. And so I received these spreadsheets, but you know what? I'm a dancer, like I said, count to 8, out to play, into lunch. I don't know how to build these spreadsheets. I don't know how to tweak them for me. I went to college and the internet was just just starting. Email was just starting. So I didn't learn how to do these things, and I never invested in how to learn these things. So thankfully, I get introduced to somebody who ends up, I date for a bit, and his favorite thing is to work spreadsheets. So he created a very detailed spreadsheet for me and my business, and I am forever grateful and thankful. And that's the first thing I want to tell you. Some people, and you've heard this, some people come into your life for a season or a reason, and that person did. That relationship did not work out. However, he was there to hold me and help me. I was going through some truly difficult things during that season of late 2023, and the whole year of 2024 was just a hold on to me season. So in 2024, we had some things happen personally in our family, and then my dad also died that summer, 2024. Again, I've learned a lot with my business. I have this dashboard. I know where things are at, and things are just not turning around. And I don't want to say turning around. They are turning around. However, it's a slow turnaround. Anybody with a studio business, you're usually setting prices, and then you have to keep them there for a year, or at least that's what I was choosing to do. People are signed on for a year commitment. That's kind of your numbers. September is your top enrollment, and it usually kind of declines a little bit. You might see a bump in January, but once you have your stuff in September, by October, that's where things pan out. And then those are your numbers for a year, So just trying to be creative in ways to bring in extra revenue. I've talked about them on the podcast. But in August of 2024, I was just in a space where I'm looking at the numbers and the lack of, I was just constantly focused on the lack. And I had a friend just kind of hit me over the head with that. Melissa, you're always talking about the lack. And I was like, you're right. I need to fix this. And I just really had a come to Jesus with myself. And Melissa, you hear all the time how great you are, and oh my gosh, and if you could see the potential I see in you. Like, that was what people were telling me. Oh my gosh, Melissa, you are just on the cusp of some greatness. And I would just look at them and say, if I had $1 for every time somebody said that to me, I wouldn't have this issue. Okay. I was just angry. Right. And in August, I just was like, I had to let go of that relationship, because I just wasn't able to give anything. I said, and I kind of let go and just kind of melted away. Let's just say that. I disappeared for a bit. And I got really clear, Melissa, you got to fix this. So I invested again in a course on mindset, because I'm like, Melissa, you are in your own way. You have a team, you have a facility, you have a community. Why is this not working? It is you, something with you. So I invested in this mindset course. And it was Mary Morrissey, and I adore her. I love her. She just spoke to me, and I invested in a program of hers, and I did it. I was like, Melissa, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And I did the work and started that program in September. By the end of September, I had drawn out what I wanted. Like, what does success really look and feel like for you, Melissa Rose? And it was like, I would build a facility that I could have 3 studios, that I could also live in it, that maybe it would also have a performing arts center attached to it or available to it, so we could do little show and shares for families. Maybe have a rental component to it. But I drew it out on paper. So those of you that are on my email list, you're going to see this beautiful drawing that I rendered. It's amazing. And then I just was like, I went, how are you going to do that, Melissa? You can barely pay your bills. Like, how are you going to do this? I go, I don't know. And that's what the program said. I don't know. It's not your problem to worry about how. You are just going to believe that that's what you're meant to do. And I did. I would just sit there and go, yes, that's what I want. That's what I really want and desire. And I could feel it and I could see it because I drew it out. I saw it. I mean, it just came so vividly. So let go of the relationship, just kind of go through the fall and the winter. And then in March, I drive past this property that I have driven past thousands of times because it's literally a half mile from my house. I have to drive past it to get downtown to do all the kids stuff, all the things. And I look and it's for sale. And I have always loved the look of this property. And guess who's selling it? My bestie. So I call up Sarah. I said, Sarah, is that house sold yet? She goes, no. I go, I think I want to look at it. This is the first week in March. I walk in that property and I don't even remember really calling her. Obviously I called her, but I documented it was March 8th. And I just was like walking through this building and I'm like, Sarah, sell it. And she goes, well, what are you thinking? I go, I think the dancing house is going to come back home. And we walk through it and it's exactly what I needed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can live in this property privately and I can have my business. And oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. All right, now how to get it. How to get it. It's at a price point that I was like, oh my gosh. But when you broke down and what the mortgage was and everything, I was like, oh my gosh, that's less than what I'm paying right now between rent and my mortgage right now. I'm like, oh my gosh. So how does this look? Because I know my credit is not good, okay? So I have a consulting client that I have, and he has made the comment, he loves real estate, so I texted him, before any of this happened, I said, if you ever find a commercial property that you want to buy, I know a good renter, because I was trying to find a way to get my rent lower. What can I find? He goes, you show me something for sale and let's talk. Well, sure. I took him up on that. I said, hey, I have a business proposition for you. And he was very quick to answer, and we sat down and chatted. And I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, and Dave Ramsey on his show has talked about, if you want to buy a property and you don't have the financing, you work out a deal where you could do it's a contract for deed, it's putting some money down and then paying rent to that person, not going through the bank. So that's what I proposed to this person, this client of mine. And he is the most generous person ever. And he says, here's what I'm going to do. I'll just buy it. And then you just, I'll transfer over the deed in like 2 or 3 years. And I was like, what? He goes, you don't need my money, you need my signature. So I'll just be the first person on the loan. You'll be the co-signer, and then I'll transfer it over. And I was like, oh my, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So we start having that conversation. In the meantime, I need to make sure the property can be used for my business. And so I had to invest without knowing the result, some $700 just to have the town approve that I could run my business out of my home, even though I was already doing it out of my home in my current, at my old house now. So they approved it, no problem. I can run my business out of that location. It comes down to that my client who offered to do his signature, I was just like, you know what? He was like, it would be a second home for him, so then he would have to put down 20%, and that was a little bit more, and so we were just talking about it. I'm like, you know what, let's see what I can do. So then I go to the bank, and the bank, we do our thing. I have to do these projections. I'm back to that spreadsheet, and I'm talking to my brother at Easter, and Nick is saying, Melissa, this means nothing unless it's on paper. Where's your income coming from? And I'm, listing off things. He goes, it means nothing to me until it's in a spreadsheet. I said, Nick, I don't know how to build these spreadsheets, but I can get you the numbers. So he sat down and helped me build out a spreadsheet right there for these projections and getting these numbers. And it was so very eye-opening to see the potential of what could happen. And this was very exciting. So I take it to the bank, knowing my credit is terrible. And they said, yeah, no, we cannot finance you. This needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. I said, okay, no problem. I knew that. And so I was just, again, not attached to the outcome. I saw this property. Gosh, this would be a dream. But you know what? It was on the market for 6 months already. It's not meant to be now. So I just went back and said, thank you, but I know what I need to fix with my finances. I'm going to really be focused on that for this next year, and let's revisit this next year. The sellers came back and offered a contract for deed or a rent to own. Would you be interested? Oh my gosh. Yes, I would be interested. So come back and work through those numbers, and we come up with a rent to own agreement, and now it comes down to selling my house, and this is all contingent on me selling my house. I've lived in my house 18 years. I have 5 kids. Money has been extremely tight, so no upgrades have been done. It needs new carpet. It needs all the love. And I just got down to work and started doing it, and figured out where I could spend money, how I would get that money. I just figured it out, talked to people, was resourceful. And we get the house. I painted the house. I listened to probably 15 books. I painted the ceilings in every single room in that house, cleaned. My realtor was my bestie, so she staged it just beautifully. We had a full price offer within a week of putting it on the market. For those of you that have done this before, that means nothing, because now the negotiations really start. Sure, they can offer you a full price offer, but now you have to go through the inspection and all the things. We go through the inspection, and they see that there's some hail damage on my house. And I'm like, no, I forgot to put that. Yes, we had a hailstorm a few years ago. The adjuster told us not to worry, but he said he wouldn't do the siding because there's just a few spots in the back, and if you do a deck, eventually you're not even gonna see it. And if we do the siding, it'll probably not match on certain spots because it would just be spot treated. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is my forever home. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna eventually do a deck, blah, blah, blah. Well, now I have to deal with this, and my potential buyers want me to replace the siding. And I'm just like, hard no. So my realtor did some magic, and just, they were getting the price. They were getting the house at a very fair price because she priced it right. So they came back and gave me a honey-do list. And I have this guardian angel who just takes care of me and helps fix things whenever I need. He's like my adopted dad. And he came in and fixed the honey-do list, and it cost $3.41. So going from a $6,000 plus siding fix that they wanted me to do down to a honey-do list that cost me $3.41. Thank you. So then we have it done, and final walkthrough, like I'm still sweating. I'm waiting for them to find something wrong with the house. And closing went good and well, and And then a week later, I met with the people that I'm going to be purchasing this property from and signed our contract. And here we are. We are moving into my dream home. It's 3.5 acres. It's a beautiful 1950s ranch. Al Capone apparently hid out there, so there's history there. Everybody in town knows it, so it's huge visibility. And I can live there privately. I can have my business there. There is a second home on the property that is being rented, and he lives there 6 months out of the year and pays a year of rent. So there's already rental income. There's bedrooms upstairs that have private access to them. So after my boys move out, I can rent those out to an acupuncturist or a massage therapist or a music teacher. And did I say it's on 3.5 acres? I did, because I have big dreams for this property. And you guys, you know what I'm most excited about? I'm most excited about making gardens in this property. There's the gardens. I just can see these gardens. And as I was sitting on my porch bed swing at my old property, hummingbirds are what I think my dad is right now. So whenever I see a hummingbird, I think of my dad. And how many hummingbirds did I see throughout this process? And the peace of mind that I had with this huge endeavor. My brother was like, there's no way that I would do this at almost 50 years old. I'm like, well, Nick, you've had a job for all your life. And I've only been a business owner. This is part of being a business owner. Yes, it's scary. It's a big move, but I have such peace of mind about it because I have such belief. It comes down to the belief. I've done it. This isn't a new thing for me. I had my business out of my house before. I know I can do it again. The clientele that I attract are in alignment with my values and with my visions in life and how I do life. And here's the best part, you guys. Our season starts today, like our 17th year in business. Our classes start tonight, and our enrollment is up over last year this time, which is so exciting. And it just goes back to what I heard on Friday at a business meeting. And the speaker said authenticity equals alignment. And alignment equals attraction. And when you truly are living the way you are designed to live your life, great things are on the other side of that. And I can just feel this great energy, this great momentum. I was sharing with a friend this last week, because now that it's public, I'm just so excited to share with everybody. Last year's word, 2024, was let go. Okay, I always have a word of the year. And last year's word was let go. So as I let go here, I'm literally opening my hands. So I had to let go, and I had to let go of a lot of things within our family, with my kids, with our world, with my dad. And this year's word in 2025, I said this word in January, is receive. And it's just amazing. So amazing. So thank you for listening. I know this one was a little bit longer, but I just want to share firsthand the amazingness of getting clear of what you want. Because when we start our business, you guys, we love what we want to share with the world. We're so passionate about it. And I am, and have gone through such ups and downs of resentment and not liking my business and hating the job I created for myself and knowing and believing it doesn't have to be like this. What do I need to do? So being brave enough to acknowledge that something's not right and get the help you need. So life is good. Business is good. It's all in our head with how we perceive it. So get still, get quiet, get really clear on what you want so that you can create the life you were designed and meant to have. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you here same time next week. Peace. Bye-bye. Did you know the work you do today will shape your business 60 to 90 days from now? That momentum doesn't stop there. It ripples right into your personal life. So let me ask you, based on what you're doing right now, where are you headed? Will it be the same old thing, different day? Or are you really ready to level up? If you're shouting level up, let's make sure it actually happens. Join me and a crew of powerhouse business owners in my mastermind called Level Up, Your Business, Your Life. This isn't just another meeting. It's your secret weapon to accountability, strategic thinking, and inspiration. We meet monthly to empower each other, take bold action, and crush the goals that really matter. Want to know more? Head to the link in my bio or visit msmelissarose.com/mastermind. It would be my absolute privilege to be part of your journey to the next level. Let's make it happen together. I hope I get to see you in our next cohort of Level Up, Your Business, Your Life.